welcome to the Batonk Show with me, David Plumhoff. Today, I'm joined by 4 of England's most talented individuals: Sarah Huntley, Becky Edwins, Sabrina Seville, and Hannah Griffin. All 4 ladies had successful campaigns in 2019, winning numerous ranking events and making numerous finals. So it's my pleasure to say hello, ladies. Hello.
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 Hi, guys. How are we all today? All good?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Let's first of all, let me just say thanks for coming on today. I know at the weekend or next Monday it's International Women's Day, so this is a good, advocate for you guys for the ladies' game, and I think you guys are an inspiration. You may not realise it, but I think you guys are an inspiration to a lot of ladies out there and young juniors as well. So I'm really pleased that you guys have come on with me today. All right, appreciate that. So let's begin then with 2019. I'll start with you, Becky, if I may, and just tell me about the year that you had and how it went, and if you can remember how you got on in the rankings.
I mean, 2019 seems like a lifetime ago, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if I do rack my brains, I finished 6th in the ranking series, which was good. To be honest, I was quite pleased with that year. I finished 5th in 2018, and my goal for 2019 was to reach the top 6, which luckily I did. I had 4 semi-finals, a final and a quarter-final in the rankings, so relatively consistent, and I played with a consistent triple of me, Debbie and Jill, and played with a couple of different people in the doubles, which was good. And it all came down to, well, the final match of the day, really, on that last triples event, and I had to beat Sabrina and Hannah to make it top 6. So it was between me and Sabrina who was going to clinch that last spot. So it all came down to that last match that we played against each other in Worthing, and I managed to win with Debbie and Jill and clinch that 6th spot. So yeah, it was good. We reached the final of the women's doubles, me and my mother-in-law Carolyn, and lost that to Sarah. So we were all up and about and playing at the final stages of those events, and I was just lucky enough that on the day I did enough.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the main point. It's all about doing enough to make it into those squad positions. So in that final game then, Sabrina, you were playing with Hannah, and who was your other player?
We were playing with Ella Slade, that we'd played with in our other triple. We played all the triples with Ella, me and Hannah did, and we'd made it to a quarter-final, a semi-final and a final of the triples, and then obviously the last one against Becky didn't quite succeed, but we gave it all we could. We just didn't have enough energy at the end to push through, and Becky's team played phenomenal against us, so we couldn't actually fault it.
No, when that happens, there's nothing you can argue about, is there? So how did you do individually then in 2009, Sabrina? Where did you come in the rankings, and how did you do?
I ended up finishing joint 7th with Ella.
Yeah.
So just missing out. We made it to obviously the final of a triple, was a semi-final, as I said, and then a quarters against Becky. Me and Hannah made it to a final of the doubles.
Oh wow.
Which was the first time of us properly playing as a doubles team together as well.
How was that? How did you find that, playing together for like the first time as a proper doubles? Was it difficult to know each other's game? Did you find it took time to get better, or did it click?
At the start, it just clicked. Like, we just sort of knew how each other played. We'd played together before in a triples in Mosaic the year before, but never as a doubles, so we were apprehensive of what was going to happen, but it just clicked and gelled really well. And again, in the final against Sammy and Claire, we just lost the energy and the momentum, and they beat us.
Yeah, it can happen. So Hannah, you finished in 10th place, I believe, in 2019, but It sounds like you were quite far away, but when you look at the points difference, apart from the person that was top, which was on 138 points, it was quite tight, I would say, all the way through the rankings.
Yeah.
How did you feel it went? Did you feel like you could have done a lot more to get yourself in that top 6, or were you relatively happy with your positioning?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, like Sabrina said, I've made it to the finals and the doubles, finals and the triples, and the semis, was it, or the quarters in one of the first time playing with Sabrina as well, and Ella, so I was really, really happy with that. I think we played really well as a team, in doubles and triples. I did one of the doubles with Carol Woodward, who I've played since, I played 2015 was my first competition at Titles Weekend at Exeter, and I played with Carol Woodward in the ladies doubles there, and we won the silver. And then I've played the next 2 with her as well, so that just became a regular team. And then obviously I started playing with Sabrina in 2019. Not that one. I think that was Titles Weekend? You played with someone else, didn't you, in the doubles for that one?
With Charlotte.
Yeah, so I played with Carol then, but ever since, yeah, I've played with you now, haven't I, in the doubles. We didn't do too well in that. We did rubbish. Didn't do very well at all. But yeah, no, I was happy to do 10th. I mean, I did better than I did the previous year, and I'm hoping to do better this year. So,
Where did you come the previous year then? How far did you move up?
I think I was 12th, or maybe.
That's still progress, isn't it?
I think, because that's why I went to Mistake. So yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
So I would say, like, out of all the ladies here, I would say that you're the one that's probably come from a position further back than the others. Obviously Sabrina and Sarah have got a wealth of experience, been playing for years, and Becky's game has elevated massively over the last 3 or 4 years. But I think for you to get in the top 10, you should be mightily proud of that.
Thanks. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I just hope to do better this year. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Now on to Sarah, who I don't think she needs any introduction. So you obviously won 2 events in 2019. So I've done my research, girls. All right. How did they go for you? How did you feel like the rankings went? You're normally top 2, but that year you come 3rd, I think, wasn't it?
I think I was 2nd.
Ooh,
Think?
I
don't know. Have a look.
Emma and Claire were top 2, I believe.
Yeah,
It might be.
That's up to.
Oh, okay. 3rd. I don't know. I can't. This feels like a lifetime ago. I literally can't remember.
I know. I agree, but we need some
And
content.
Jack has wrote down what I did, because I haven't had any time to prepare, and he's wrote number 2. So I just took that.
He's
but he
done that
obviously
to
made
make you
that
feel
up.
better.
Exactly.
but-
Yeah, I think he
so-
was.
But you did win the national titles doubles, I believe, and one of the triples. Who did
We
you play
did.
with?
That's the first time we've won the doubles, the actual title doubles.
And was that with Emma, was it? Or
Yeah, it was with Emma. So I think we played, I don't even know how many years now, I've lost track. But
yeah, it's been a lot.
that's like one of our biggest aims, because we always lose in that one. We've won the ranking one before, but we've never won the title. So that was the first time we'd won the title.
It's a bit of a milestone then, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you hadn't won it before because you were always thinking about it and not, wanting it too much? Or was it just a case of just at wrong times, things just went wrong?
Yeah, maybe. I think when you want to win, that the more you want to win something, the harder it is to win.
Put more pressure on yourself. Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And then the ranking triples, you also won that. Do you remember that final you played against and who you were with?
Oh, don't ask questions like that.
Did Jack write it down?
No. That was at Leicester.
But Carla
It was Carla. It was Carla. Is it Jarvis?
Jarvis. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was against Carla. To be honest, I think that was one of the first competitions of that year as well. So I was a bit hazy as into how exactly the game went, but that was with Lisa and Emma. So I think we've played together the same team for a couple of years as well.
So Emma was looking to have a year or so out, wasn't she? So were you looking to move on with your team selections? I know obviously you're pregnant now, but obviously at the time you wouldn't have been. So were you looking to change up, were you, for 2020?
We were, but we were going to play in the squads. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's true.
we'll
Yeah.
go 2 and 2. Yeah. Because obviously the squad was only, yeah. So we were going to split, but obviously that's not going to happen now. So
No, obviously, you and Becky were definitely in the squad that was going to be used for selection for was it European Championships, was it, Becky?
Yeah, it was the European Championships last year, but obviously they got initially postponed and then cancelled because obviously of the pandemic. So.
And with that, it's now the squad is going to start again. Basically, it's going to be a reset.
To be honest, I mean, we haven't heard anything about that, but I've just kind of made that assumption that with the new set of rankings, a new set of players might get into a squad system if they're continuing with the squad system. And I really hope they do, because it did show some real promise at the start. We did have some sessions that we did some training together. We were doing some skills drills, that type of thing. We had a competition where we played together, and there was going to be sort of more competitions for us to gel as a team.
Was that the 4 of you, was it, or was there other players?
Yeah, the 4 of us.
That was today.
I think that would be quite a good method going forwards, and I definitely think it had potential, but unfortunately we just got our opportunity cut short a bit because of the COVID situation, which is completely understandable and sensible.
Yeah, so how question to you, Sabrina, when you found out obviously COVID was going to be cancelling events, were you really upset about the fact that, you know, your opportunity to possibly go to a European Championships was over, or did you see it as just one of them things and you go again?
No, I was quite upset because, to be fair, whenever I get the opportunity to play with any of the ladies for Sonk England, it's amazing. Like, who doesn't want to go to other countries and compete against the best players and be the best that they can be and make their ability better? Like, so yeah, it was upsetting, but it was also understandable with the situation that was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you use the time to practice or anything? Did you use any of that time last year to get out and practice?
The only time last year was when we all got gathered together before we went into a national lockdown, obviously, that we were still allowed to do some social distancing practicing and the titles. That was the only time that I'd actually been able to go out and play and practice, because with not driving, I don't live near to a terrain. And now with the restrictions that you can't really go out of your area, I can't go anywhere to practice unless I practice on the grass in my back garden.
Yeah, so it seems like a lot of us, you know, are going to be in a position where we're all starting almost from scratch again, because I mean, I've been lucky enough to get out and go and play because my local terrain's only down the road, but for a lot of people, they haven't been able to get out and play. So everyone's starting point's going to be at different places. Hannah, so when you went to this squad day, where the 4 of you went, was it just one day or was it a weekend?
I think it was the Saturday. We did the coaching. We did a few setups and things, and then the Sunday was the triples. Was that an open? I can't remember. Seems so long ago. I think that was just triples. So we played as a 4. I can't remember how we did, but
no, that's all right. What was the, if any of you want to answer this, Sarah maybe, if you can't remember, Hannah, what was the squad day like? What did you do? Where was it?
It was at Gravesend. I think the men's team were there as well.
Oh, okay. So it's a collective.
Right, yeah. So they did both together, and then we played games against the men's team. And then I'm not sure if it's the same day, or was it another squad day that we did like drills with the men, and we kind of worked with them, and they gave us advice on things as well.
Yeah, that was the same day. We did. So there was more pointing skills like spinning technique and high lobs and things like that we were given practice with, and there was also a shooting section that we could do as well. So it was just a case of they separated one of the women with one of the men to get them to work together, sort of thing, pairing each of us off to do each section and practice our skills as best we can.
And do you feel, Hannah, that is really beneficial? Did you find that was really worthwhile, or do you feel like it was a bit patronising, or did you really enjoy the coaching sessions?
For me, I really enjoyed it because I've not had one-to-one coaching like that before, so that was the first time I've ever been coached in a way like that. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it really helped as well. Like, I've never been taught how to spin a ball or the things that we were doing. It's the first I've ever tried. So yeah, no, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
That was really beneficial for you.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I'm with you on this. I think squad days, if that's the route we're going down, are, you know, imperative, and it's important that it's regular, because there's no point having one every 5-6 months, because it just doesn't benefit anyone. So Sarah, on to you. Do you feel like these squad days are really beneficial for someone that's played at the top of the game for, you know, 10-15 years and been to numerous Worlds and Euros? Are you always looking to learn new things, and do you find them beneficial?
Yeah, I definitely think I think you can learn so much, and by having the men there, I think that was really, really helpful, because you see that everyone can kind of teach you something. So
Yeah.
just by working with different people, you pick up, like, even if it's just the tiniest thing from each person, you do learn a lot. And I think it's good for, like, the team bonding as well. Like, I think to do well as a team, you have to be a team and you have to gel together. So the more you play together and the more you do squad days and things like that together, I think the better you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. One thing that I learned from talking to other countries' coaches over the last few months is what they don't understand with the English, and I've started to realise that it doesn't make sense really, is we change our squad. Well, we will be changing our squad every year, where in, like, Germany, Sweden, Holland, they keep the same squads for 4, 5, 6 years. So they really build an understanding. And talking to them, they don't think that rankings is a good idea. They think squads is a good idea, but rankings isn't. Do you feel like if you're constantly changing the squad, you're not actually going to get the consistent results that Petanque England want?
That's a difficult question, really. That is a difficult question, because obviously there are not masses and masses of ladies playing, and, you know, we need to encourage new ladies to play, new ladies to join the rankings. And obviously, from personal experience, it's really hard to break into the sort of top block of players, because obviously where people have played together over a number of years, it's difficult to sort of chip your way into the top few. So, you know, that is a challenge, and people do play together repeatedly over and over again throughout the years, not because they are a squad, but because they play with friends and people they're comfortable with, and that's just the way it is. So although if the squad was to change every single year, it might be a little bit disruptive for some players, but it would also give opportunities for others to get in. And I think, being that people often play with the same people over and over anyway, similar people probably would reach the top spots, and maybe the core group of the squad might be pretty consistent, depending on how big they want the squad to be.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying in terms of giving more opportunities. What the German coach said to me was, if you had 10 players, so just say for short argument, you ladies had 10 players in the squad every year, but there was always an opportunity for a new player to come into that squad to coach with you, to train with you, and then play tournaments. And then that coach makes a decision if that person should come into the squad and someone should come out for that year. It's so that basically what they want to do is try and keep the nucleus together, because if you think about it, the four of you have never played together, have you?
We hadn't when we were put together. And
no, exactly.
I do agree with what you're saying, and if you're thinking squad of 10, absolutely, you know, but obviously we've got a very small squad that we've started with, and therefore that's why there would be more changes. If the squad was larger, of course there'd be, you know, more benefit in keeping it solid all the way through. But obviously a squad as big as 10, in the number that we had that took the rankings seriously, and that they played every event last year, it would have been quite a high proportion of those that did dedicate themselves to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this, that wasn't my opinion. I'm just talking about what the German guys said to me. And it does have some pros, but obviously the Germans have 15,000 members and probably about 5-6 times more ladies at their event, so I guess it works for them. Talking about chemistry and togetherness then, Sabrina, how important do you think it is that the team, whenever you're playing as a team, is like know each other and know each other's game inside out, and how do you build that?
I think it's very important to know each other's game and just how each other are as people, like their personalities, what, like just general things in their life, what they're into and stuff, because then you can, like for the years that I've played, say with Sarah and Emma, we learned each other's game inside and out because we played so much together, but we also knew each other as friends. Yep. So we built that team camaraderie. I cannot say the word.
Camaraderie.
That's the one. We built that together, like being so strong and being able to pull each other out of a funk if like we were getting in our own heads and things. So to be a team and know each other's game is the best thing that you can do. So consistency of playing together and just knowing a person always helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hannah, what do you think are the most important components of a team?
Wow, you've got to know how they play, haven't you? I mean, it's nice to be friendly with each other. You know, each other. Like, it's nice to. I don't know what I'm saying now. Like, you've got to know each other.
Trust. What about trust? Because it's important to trust each other. Because one thing that I've always I've hated over the years, if I play with certain players, is what they're like behind your back, but not behind your back in a horrible way, but saying things like, "Oh, he was rubbish that game. He didn't play well." You want your teammates to trust you and support you rather than, you know, be in that situation. So what else do you think is an important part of being a team?
Just gelling together, like just understanding how each other play. Like if you're playing badly, you want somebody that will encourage you and keep your head up. And yeah, sorry, I've got Ava bringing me something.
That's all right. The joys of live TV, eh? What about you, Sarah? What over the years you've played with probably similar core group of players. Why do you think it's important to keep going back to those? What do they bring out in you?
I just think if you're comfortable with, well, from a personal perspective, if I'm comfortable playing with people and I know how they play, like sort of the tactics that they're going to play, like I suppose it's just not, it's like being in your comfort zone. They make you feel comfortable. It makes it easier to just play. It's more natural. And as Sabrina said, like getting each other out of, like if you're not playing very well, how do you encourage someone to play better? And kind of having the trust that they're going to come back and be better as well, not just being, oh, they're just rubbish, and like not being able to get them back into the game. So yeah, I think actually like being friends off the pitch helps massively as well.
Yeah, I think like myself and like Sean and me and Jack, obviously we play really well together because I think we have that friendship, not just on the pitch, but off it as well. And you can obviously see it with Sabrina and Hannah as well. And obviously you and Emma and Becky with, I don't even know who she plays with, but whoever she plays with. But yeah.
And there's my main problem.
but talking about that though, it is difficult to come into a squad, the four of you, and to gel straight away. So as we look, talking about just now, those squad days are very important to build that trust, because you don't want to be going into it and thinking, oh, I've played with her before and she wasn't this and she wasn't that. So I think it's important to break those barriers when you go into a squad together, isn't it, Becky?
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, we're all pretty easy to get on with as a group, and I think that, you know, we've all come into it with a positive attitude and wanted to get on and wanted to play well. And although surprisingly enough, occasionally I come across a little bit quiet in a group, really, but it's because I'm harsh on myself. That's the thing, you know. I'm really harsh on how I play, and I'm hyper self-critical, and you know, I think partly playing with the squad helps me a little bit with that, because people are able to dig you out of a hole. You know, you don't feel like you are responsible for the outcome of the game because there's a team of you. You know, there are others there if you're having a bad patch that can dig you out, and then you can get back on it again. So no, I think we're all pretty approachable people, and I think we got on all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And were you Sabrina, were you really excited to know that you'll be teaming up with Sarah, Hannah, and Becky?
Yeah, I was, because
Don't
I
say
played
no.
with...
Is that what?
That'd be awkward. No, I was excited because I played with them all in different competitions individually. So I've played with Becky in Mosaic. I've played with Hannah, obviously, in my doubles, triples, and in Mosaic. And I've played with Sarah for God knows how many years in triples. So it was exciting to be in a different team, but with people that I've played with before.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hannah, what just keeping on the what's the word? Keeping on the you know, the trail of team efforts and team being part of a team. What would you say you bring to a team? What would you say your strengths are as part of a team?
I think I'm very positive. I think if we're having a bad game, I'm there, the one being, come on, you can do it, like getting your head back into it. And yeah, I'm quite supportive as well, I find. I feel like if we are having a bad game, I'm there to pick you back up. If I'm having a bad game, I feel like I'm not, I don't know, I don't feel like I get my head right down if I am having a bad game. So yeah, I'd just say I'm positive overall, really, when playing in a team.
So you don't get like down in the dumps and.
Well, I do, but I think I'm quite good at hiding it. Yeah, I don't.
No, that positivity is very important, because even as part of a team, the last thing you want to do, for sure, if I was playing with Sarah and I did a bad ball, her body language can send me signals, as well as how she, you know, how she reacts to how I play. And I'm sure we've all played with people before that we like. I mean, some people can tut, some people like, oh, I forgot, and that can really ruin your confidence. So it's important to have that positive body language as well as that positive attitude, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like if someone's throwing a bad ball, just be like, come on, it's over with, move on.
So Sarah, what have you been working on your game recently? Have you been trying to change anything in your approach? Obviously, you're one of the best shooters, not just in England, but in Europe, in my opinion. But obviously, we've all got weaknesses, we've all got flaws. And have you been thinking about those and trying to rectify them? I mean, you're lucky to have Jack with you, I guess.
Yeah. So last year, at the beginning of the year, like the beginning of lockdown, when we could, we're quite lucky because we've got loads of a couple of pitches within like sort of walking distance.
Yeah.
So I was practicing pointing a lot because I know that's like my weakness, and don't give me that face. Yeah. So actually, I've spent more time practicing pointing probably than I did even shooting or doing anything else. No,
that's good. It's so important as players that we understand our flaws, what's the word I'm trying to get out? Becky, help me out here. Like our, you know, what we're not good at. It's important to recognise them, because there's nothing worse than thinking you're already the best. And I think the fact that you've recognised that and wanted to rectify it is a real positive. And I'm sure people watching this will probably think, well, if Sarah's not the finished article, then I can't be, so I want to get out and practice. So, you know, it's good that you recognise your flaws there. And what about you, Becky? What do you feel like you need to improve on, and what you want to improve on?
Well, you know, I am a pointer, that is what I do, but I would like to improve my shooting, and I do work on that. And you know, I'm comfortable playing in the middle, so I do get to shoot a bit. And I'm not saying I want to be an out-and-out shooter, because I don't. That's not really where my skill set lies. You know, I think my pointing is, I would say, really quite solid. And I'm pleased with the consistency a lot of the time. I'm pleased with the control a lot of the time. And so I just continue to work on that. I try to counteract my natural spin quite a lot with my pointing, just to make sure that I can get it to hold straight when I want it to.
What do you do then? What was it? Come out your hand with right and left or something?
No, I play left to right spin. So I play with left-handed spin, mainly, only because that's what's comfortable. And I can spin it the other way, but yeah, no, it's much more natural for me to play with left-handed spin for some reason, just comfort. But yeah, as I say, shooting is something I work on. But I need to get back into playing the game though. Like many others, it's really difficult for me to practice at the moment because obviously, you know, the pitches are closed. I can't go and use anything that belongs to a club because that's what the top guidelines say at the moment. I can only use ones that are in like parks.
Yeah.
We haven't got any round us, so you know there's patches of gravel, but that's about it. But what I'm really missing is the mentality in the game. So I need to get back in the swing of thinking about tactics and thinking a few steps ahead of the ball I'm playing, because I'm going to be out of practice of that probably more than the physical skill of doing the pointing or the shooting. I'm quite a fast player, really. I don't dilly-dally over decisions in terms of tactics. We decide something and we do it, and I have quite a high, fast pace in terms of, you know, playing, which is what I like. But again, it's that game sort of speed, that match fitness.
Yeah.
Same as if you're playing football or anything like that. It's that match fitness that I think is probably going to be the thing that I struggle with most when I'm back out and playing, and fingers crossed that could be sometime in the very near future.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, you know, will struggle with that. I know when I've been out over the last 3 or 4 weeks practicing, one thing I've noticed after about 45 minutes, I get like a spasm in my back. Like it's almost like my core muscles are starting to work again because I haven't played a tournament in nearly 6 months since September when we played. So that's something that I feel like I need to work, and I'm sure all 4 of you or the rest of you will figure out as you play more what is really causing you some issues, and it will feel like we've all taken a step back. But I'm sure, like Hannah said, that positive attitude that we've got to have will get us through that. So Sabrina, what about yourself then? What are you looking to change in your game? Have you thought about where your game is and how you can improve it?
Yeah, I know 100% I need to work on my high lob. Like, if I'm going to be playing in any terrains anyway, you need to have a high lob in your kit. And
what do you feel like is wrong with it then? What do you struggle with?
I think it's I can always get the height. I just struggle with
accuracy,
getting the height with the distance, putting them both together, being more accurate. Sometimes I've done it and I've gone, oh, I've actually done a high lob. That's nice. And then other times, majority of the time, it's just not quite clinching. So I just need to focus on that because I'm not an out-and-out shooter. I'm not an out-and-out pointer. I do both. And I would never, like, even though in the doubles with Hannah, I do shoot, and then we switch between us now because Hannah's shooting phenomenally at the minute as well. Like, it's more for me. I prefer to sit middle, always have done, just so I can chop and change and not be stuck in the same rhythm of one thing. I like to be able to do everything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So you would say you're a middle by trade then, not a shooter, which I had you down as personally, because I always think you're a really good shooter. So no, that's good though, because I think something that, and there's no disrespect to any ladies out there, we don't really have a lot of all-round ladies with all-round ability. Like we have, like Becky alluded to, she's a really good pointer, but she needs to improve her shooting. Sarah's a really brilliant shooter, but needs to improve her pointing. And I think one thing the men's game have a bit more of is those middle players at the top level. So I think, Sabrina, if you're working towards that middle ground, then there's a position for you there easy. I think I really do think that. So keep on trying and keep on trying to improve, and you'll be right up there again. And Hannah, what about you then? What are you trying to improve on?
Well, like Becky said, I'm a pointer. Obviously, I have been practicing a lot on my shooting lately. I joined in quite a lot of the shooting tournaments last year on live Facebook, which was really good for me. It got me out there, got me motivated, got me practicing a lot, which I improved massively last year, I must say, on my shooting compared to what I have been like previously. But yeah, I'd like to focus. I'd like to be more of a middle, to be honest. I can't see myself being an all-round shooter. But yeah, I'd like to have the opportunity to be more of a shooter in the middle, and I'll keep working on that.
Yeah, those online tournaments that people have put on, like myself and other countries, are so good at making you practice without the pressure, but still with the competitive environment. and I don't know if Sabrina or Becky, you guys have entered the big shoot off that I'm doing, but I do think you guys should. Obviously, Becky and Sabrina, I just realised you guys can't get out and play anywhere, can you? So that puts that to bed. I'll shut up. I'll cut that out. And if Sarah wants to do it with a massive bump, then she's more than welcome to.
Okay.
So, Sarah, you've played for England numerous times at big championships. What does it mean to you to play for your country, and what's it like at these big tournaments?
I think every time you do it, it obviously is a bit cliche, but you are proud to represent your country. I think that's what, but you play all year for that opportunity. And it is that the tournaments, the World Championships and the European Championships, are like no other tournament, I think. And like over the years, you develop friendships with other countries as well. And like, I think it's so different to every other tournament. That is something that every year, that's what you aspire to do.
And you don't get bored of doing it, do you? I mean, it's not like you do it once, you go, oh, I don't really want to do that again. The buzz and the addiction to it, of traveling to those different countries and those different cultures and meeting, excuse me, as you say, different players, making new friends, is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, I think every time you come back, and it just motivates you to want to do even better.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Sabrina? You've obviously played in championships before. What do you get out of it? Is it sense of pride as well?
Yeah, 100%. Like, whenever I've been either asked to be part of the squad or I've qualified to be part of the squad, like, I will never say no to being part of it, because the enjoyment you get and just like the feeling of being part of such a big team. You're playing for England. Like, it's, I don't know how else to describe it but pride, like Sarah says, because you just want to do the best for your country and your teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hannah and Becca, have you two played for England yet in a major championships?
No, I'm desperate to, really desperate to. So that is something that I really want to do, and I was totally gutted when they cancelled the Euros last year. I mean, I was really pleased and working to get in that top six, as I said at the start, and I did it. And I thought, great, this is my chance. I get to train with the squad. I get to make new friendships, and become friends with the people that are the best, because that's what I really need, and I need to play with people that are the best to climb up those rankings every year. And obviously I was really upset when that was cancelled. And then obviously I've had a really good 2020. So, I was really pleased with how I played last year. But of course, other than the fact that, obviously I'm really proud to have done the winning that I did in 2020. Actually, it doesn't count for my ultimate goal, which is I want to play for my country. So I'm really hoping that I can replicate what I did last year in at least some way next year, this year in fact, in the up and coming rankings, because as I say, I really, really want that chance. And I feel like I've narrowly missed out twice, really. Obviously, I'd not played abroad before. When I finished 5th in the rankings in 2018, I'd not played abroad before. So obviously, when they were looking for a 4th member to go on that to that competition, it was sensible not to take me, because I didn't have any international experience, and I completely understand that. And I thought, right, well, I've played a competition abroad. They've seen how I've been against players from different countries. I got some really good results when I was in Mosaic. I know it's not like the highest of high standards, but it's different people, and people from different national squads were there. So, and I did well, and I beat some good players, and I thought, yeah, I think I've probably done enough now, if I make the top 6, to possibly be given a chance at this. And I thought I was going to get it, and then Corona came. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this year, and we'll see what happens. But when I'm playing, I never ever give up. I'm never beaten. I could be 12-0 down. I'm never beaten. I'm always absolutely focused on winning right till the end, and that's what I'm going to be doing throughout the whole series.
No, I think I think we can all agree that you've got a great opportunity to get into those squads. You're obviously a fantastic player already. Your pointing skills are brilliant, and I think any one of the three in this, including myself, actually would want to play with you. So keep on trying, and you'll definitely get there. And what about you then, Hannah? What would it mean to you to represent your country?
Well, it's what I really want to do. I've played home nations for 2 years running, so that's quite a big achievement for me for not playing for the length of time I've been playing. But yeah, no, it would be amazing to play for England in a different country. That's my main goal for this year. I really want to go for it. So.
Have you ever played in a tournament abroad before, or?
Yeah, 2018, I think it was. 2018. I played in Mosaic. That was my first time playing abroad.
Was that a real eye opener for you? Did it give you the bug?
Yeah, I played some good players. Yeah, no, that was really good. That was a really good experience for me. It's probably one of my favourite weekends away, actually. I hope to do it again another time. I can't remember who I played now, but I remember beating some good players I think I made the B final against Sarah. We ended up playing against each other in the final in the singles. But yeah, I beat some good players to get there, which I was really, a lot of people come up to me afterwards like, you played really well against them. So yeah, that was quite a big achievement for myself. But yeah, no.
You didn't beat Sarah, no?
No, I think I will. No.
Sarah, you're out of order. What are you doing? Killing her confidence here. No, that's good. That's really refreshing to hear how guys, because I think one thing that is lost on our sport a little bit is that ambition and drive. We don't have a lot of players at the top level in either format, male, female, juniors, espoirs, veterans that really want to take the game forward. And to hear you guys speak like that can only be inspiring to others watching. On the subject of inspiring like other players playing, Sarah, what can we do to improve participation? What do you think, as a lady yourself, and you play in these tournaments where you must look over to the men counterpart, and I know there isn't as many female players in general, but you must look over and say, look, they've got 60 teams and we've got 15. Is it a little bit demoralizing, or is there a solution?
I really don't know. I think this has been going, like, this question's been on for years. Yeah. And it seems to be like you do get some more involved and then some leave, and then you get some more involved and then some leave. And I guess for women as well, like me now, like people go off and have families, and that obviously stops them playing for a little while. You've got people like Connie or Amy Coley, even Claire Brooks. I think she was looking to come back, and then now she's having a baby. Steph. So it does take people out for like a couple of years. So I think that's actually quite impactful. Whereas I think the men kind of carry on playing, like there's nothing to stop them. So I don't know. I think it's really, really difficult. I think things like what Hassie's doing, I think I spoke about this last time, like with the International Women's Day, like that can only be positive. That's like creating a buzz and getting a lot of women playing. So it's just kind of trying to transfer them from playing in those competitions to the national ones as well.
Do you think adding more incentive could be a way of doing it? I don't know, maybe having different like they were talking recently on Facebook about having like a mixed triples event where a woman plays with two men, and that could help get more women into the game if they feel like they're being asked to play with the men's. Do you think that's something that would help? More mixed events?
Should I jump in?
Yeah, go on, Becky. Go for it.
Sorry, Sarah. I think that won't necessarily encourage more women to play, but okay. I do think it would help those that do play regularly improve, because I think it is, it is fair to say and pretty obvious that actually the men's standard is higher as a collective. There's more depth in the men's game than there is in the women's, and I think that that we are able to learn from some of the tactics and skills that they use, and you know, you learn from playing people that are better than you. So that mixed opportunity and playing in that type of tournament, I would really welcome. But in terms of getting people into the sport, I think it's really important to get people while they're young. So all of the work that's going on with the juniors and the national squads and things, I think is going to be really valuable moving forwards. I certainly wish that I had discovered this sport when I was younger. So obviously, you know, I've been playing, well, I say I haven't been playing long, I have now. I have been playing since 2013. So what's that, 7 years? If you can count last year. So yeah, I've been playing 7 years, and I really wish I played when I was younger, because I think if I'd have played for another 10 years on top of that, I would be much more skilled than I am now, because you know, that is what sport is about, trying to be the best you can be, and you don't stop improving.
Yeah.
So I think key to it is getting young people involved and keeping them involved, getting them hooked. And I think that's pretty easy with petanque. It's an addictive game.
Yeah, I guess the only stumbling block there is where do you find these youngsters? I mean, the obvious place is a school, isn't it? It's a school or a youth club or Cubs or Scouts. But unfortunately, we're in a country where there are 20 other sports. You know, you look at like Germany, Sweden, even Holland. Apart from football, they don't have many other sports. They don't have cricket. They don't have rugby. You know, they don't have athletics really. They don't have that depth of sport, so they're able to go and play petanque because, well, there's not much else other than football that we can play. And I think it's always a difficult subject to try and get more people in, especially like we were saying, a gender, a female quota. Sabrina, what do you think the standard is like in the ladies' game at the moment, as a whole?
As a whole, what, in the UK or all over?
In England, what do you think? What do you think about it?
I think we have there's a solid sort of 15, 20 women that do play now and then, that need to play more often and would probably be better. But then there's also, obviously, there's still the solid 10 at the top that normally consistently play. But I think we can learn an awful lot from other countries, because going away, you tend to see that their teams are more developed and a lot stronger in their play because they're so consistently together and their coach is always the same, that their ability is stronger. So I tend to think that sometimes in England, our game's not as strong, but I think if we put the dedication and the time in, we could be just as strong as most of them teams out there.
I think something that a lot of the foreign national teams do, or just I think the culture is different. So as I was alluding to with Becky, there's just so much more to do in England. And I think we don't immerse ourselves in the sport as much as maybe not we should do, because, you know, it's an amateur sport at the end of the day. But a lot of like the Swedes, Germans, Dutch, French, they will travel to other countries and play against better players more regularly and put themselves in that environment. You know, if you take even the men's side of the game, there's only 10, 15 players that regularly go out of their comfort zone and put themselves in an environment to play against these foreign players of a much better standard. And it's the same with the ladies. It's always the same few that do that. So if we're gonna improve the standard, one thing we've got to do is create a calendar where we can go away with trips. And that's not always easy because, as Sarah said, there's families, commitments, work. So it's almost a double-edged sword, I think, to get that. Becky, do you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that would be really helpful, because if I'm honest with you, I'm too scared to just go off and take myself to a tournament abroad. I'd be scared that I wouldn't be good enough. I would be worried about the whole situation and everything. If I went with people that I knew and was comfortable of in a small group, then I would absolutely be up for doing that. But if you know, I know there are opportunities to play in, you know, northern France, southern France that are easy for me to get to, but I'd be scared to go on my own.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got the confidence.
Yeah.
But in a group, I absolutely would love to do that, and I need to do that to improve my game.
Let's arrange it.
Yeah, well, Hannah, you obviously must feel similar to Becky in terms of that confidence of going abroad and playing. I'm pretty sure Sabrina's personality and Sarah's personality means that they've got no issues going abroad and playing and smashing it up. But I can tell by, you know, just the way you are that you're probably similar to Becky in terms of going abroad and putting yourself in that environment where it's not within your comfort zone. But maybe as part of a group like Mosaic, you'd feel like you were more part of a team and your confidence would come out in you.
Yeah, definitely. I probably will agree with Becky there. I mean, I feel like I'm quite a shy person. It's not been until like 2019 really that I've really come out and played more. Like nobody knew who I was like 3 years ago. It's only recently really that I've really come out of my shell and given it all I can really. But yeah, if we were to go away as a team, that would be really boost confidence there. So yeah, that would be something I'd definitely do.
And do you feel like going abroad to play would be a real benefit to not just yourself but the ladies' game in general if more people got out to France and Holland and played in those?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you get to watch other people play, don't you? I mean, I've been to Mosaic, that's it. I'm just used to seeing England ladies playing all the time. But I think if I was to go out and watch ladies from different countries play, you'd pick up new tactics and just watching them, like picking up different, I don't know, the way they throw the ball and things like that. I think it'll be a massive learning curve. So yeah, I think that would be a really good thing to do. I think we definitely do need to get out and travel more to different competitions and play better players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarah, for those that probably don't play as many international competitions as yourself, what does it bring to not just you know, not just to your game, but to your outlook on the sport when you go to these countries? It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like as Hannah's saying, I think you learn so much more by watching the women from the other countries. You can watch it on YouTube, or like, so I watch like the PPFs and things like that on YouTube.
Yeah,
but it's not the same. But it's not the same as seeing it and playing against them, and kind of even just watching once you're out of the competition, just watching them and learning from them. Like, they're some of the best players in the world. Like, you can learn so much.
But that's that thing of culture between England and, as I was saying, other countries. In England, we have this attitude, and I don't know if any of you guys are the same as this, but you might be, of we need to get home early. Where in France and Germany and Spain, all these countries, they'll play till midnight because they are there to play and they want to play. Where in this country, it's like, well, we've got a tournament, but I'd rather be home by 5. And then we don't. If you look at our tournament, at the end of a tournament, you've got 2 teams playing in a final and about 4 people packing up behind them. It's just ridiculous. There's no professionalism.
I think the atmosphere is completely different. You'll have, like, the stands will still be full.
Yeah.
I played a tournament in Travemünde, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, there was still people watching.
Yeah. Well, look at Mosaic. When I was in the final with Nick and Reese, and it was like 1 a.m. We were knackered, but there was still about 40 people watching the final, and people still playing like games, you know, beyond in the other terrains because they wanted to play. And until we get that culture of we want to learn and we want to play and we want to get better, we never will. And it's something that I've been talking a lot with other people about, trying to make the game not a professional sport, but more professional. And that doesn't mean, you know, you have to train every day and things like that, but just go into a tournament all kitted up. Go in, end of the tournament, people are watching the final. There's not a silver final and a bronze final and a semi-final of another game going on. It's a bit more professional, and I think we can learn so much from our foreign counterparts. But in this country, no one is willing to stay and watch it and do it. So it's just catch-22, isn't it?
I think they make it a spectacle as well. Like, so like in Mosaic, they did was it like fireworks or like sparklers or something, and everyone went on the podium. That makes you want to do well, and it makes you like, gives you something to watch. So if you stay, there is actually like a presentation and you can watch it, so it makes a spectacle of the winners. Whereas here, I don't like, I think at titles events, like, you don't even, oh no, I think you do get like a mug presented to you, but that'll be in a room when you're like by yourself. It'll just be you two and the person giving you the prize. There's not a spectacle of it.
Yeah, there's no clamour, there's no excitement in the win. It's just about, oh, we need to pack up now, and here's your medal and see you later. Do you think that's something that we need to change, Becky? Something we need to start thinking about?
I think that that's that sort of feel that people staying around to watch and things like that was coming from the Crystal Palace competition that I played in. I think that people were staying around to watch, and that sort of feel of seeing people you hadn't seen play before, and it was more of a spectacle because in a big open sort of space, and there were people wandering by and watching and things like that. That did start to have the feel of a bit more of a event, if you like, rather than a match. And I think that might be the key difference. Are you playing a match, or are you attending an event?
Yeah, no, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, very good. So how do we make our our titles weekends into an event rather than just a day to go and play ball?
It's a £1 million question.
Yeah, I think
It's very true.
Maybe do what mistake. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Carry on. I was going to say maybe do something like what Mistake do over the weekend, like make a weekend of it and put stuff on in the evenings, and I don't know, try and make it more entertaining. That might encourage people to stay around. I don't know. It's difficult.
Yeah. What about something that you guys have seen that I do, like the Pétanque show and stuff like that. One thing that I feel generates excitement as well, which people don't really realise, is social media. One thing I don't think we do enough of in this country, in Pétanque England, is create that excitement before a tournament to make it into something that I want to go to. It's almost like, here's a bit of paper with some dots on it, enter your name and pay me £10 and we'll see you in 3 months' time, and then you hear nothing of it. Do you think, Sabrina, it's important that we use those platforms to build excitement and build clamour for the tournament?
Yeah, I think you're right in that sense, that there is a lot of ways that we can build up the excitement for competitions, and they're just not being used. Like you said, you get given a piece of paper, and most of the time we all just enter them because we want to be in them competitions and we want to be part of a team or a squad to become part of the England team. But there's a lot of people that are new to the game, like you said, and they don't know much about it. So to have a bit more excitement about it, like, oh, this is something new, maybe try it. If they don't like it, they don't like it, but at least it's getting them to come and try it because they've been excited about the preview.
Yeah, that's something that I always felt like. Imagine if we had a tournament, one of the national tournaments, and every day or every other day we put a thing up about Sarah Huntley, about Hannah Griffin, about Becky Edwins, about Sabrina Seville. Each day a different thing about them, and it could inspire different women to go, oh, I didn't know those girls were playing. I didn't know those guys were going to be there. Oh, look how much it means to them. I'm going to go and play in that now. Do you think that's something we can do, Becky?
I think the live streaming really helps with that. And I know that doesn't create an event, like an atmosphere at the event, but it does mean that an awful lot more people are watching an awful lot more Pétanque, because if I see Pétanquing and go live on Facebook, then I'll watch it, if I'm free to. If I'm not playing the tournament and I see a live stream, it's on, and the same with the links to the events, the French events that were on. Once I saw them on Facebook, I put them on. I think social media can be used for that, and whether it's promoting achievements of individuals, or whether it's sort of giving player profiles, or just putting on more live stuff, I think it's all worthwhile.
Absolutely. And do you agree with that, Sarah?
Yeah. Well, I think you've kind of proved it from the Pétanque show. Like, you've gained so much more interest in Pétanque. There's not even anything going on at the moment, and it's kind of created a bit of a buzz again.
Yeah,
So I think if you
absolutely.
can do that when there's not even tournaments, if there was tournaments to actually promote, you could create the buzz about the tournaments, which would hopefully get people involved.
Yeah, it's something that I always say, and because I'm part of the events committee as well, and I try and always say that we need to do more to entice people in, and that can sometimes be something as simple as, like I say, promoting an event regularly, just putting it in people's faces, almost saying, look what's coming on, look what's coming on, look what's coming on. So yeah, it's something that we've really got to look at. In terms of, back to the original point about getting more women to play the game, it's a very difficult thing to try and achieve. The hardest thing is trying to get people to want to play that aren't already invested in the sport. So, you know, it's been 2,500 members for as long as I've been playing, and probably as long as you've been playing, Sarah and Sabrina. So, you know, there's got to be massive changes there. And I think that comes from a bit more investment from, we don't get a lot of money pumped into the sport either. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. But it's good to see you four anyway, having that passion for the game and the ambition. Sarah, what is it? What's it going to mean for you then, having this, having a child, and because obviously you're a massive part, you're integral to Petanque England and the women's game, and I'm assuming it's going to affect your availability.
Yes. I don't know how much. I'm going to play in a few things, but I don't know what, and I haven't really committed to anything, and I wouldn't want to commit to anything yet because I haven't. Yeah, and Jack has already committed, so no, I won't be playing him very much this year. Definitely, I do still want to play in some things, but I might play like the odd ranking competition if I can, or something like that. But in terms of like actually commitment, I'm not going to be like 100% committed this year. I don't think it's possible for me to be, really.
No, you're right there. It's going to be very difficult, but I guess the flip side of that is it's going to be amazing to have a child to look after, I guess, because you've got a lot of practice looking after Jack. So Hannah, what are your ambitions then for the next year or so?
Just to keep practicing. I want to focus on my shooting. I want to make top 6 in the squad, so I want to. Hopefully the rankings are going to go ahead this year. Not heard that they're not, but who knows. So yeah, it'll be qualifying will be my main goal. Just keep practicing. I've been really lucky. I've got a piece to my garden, so I can just go out there when I want. And obviously I've got Ava involved now as well, so I'll try and get her out there and just have little games, and yeah, just keep going. Yeah. Do one step better than I did last year. Not last year, the year before.
I'm sure you will. Have you sorted any teams out? Have you got your team sorted? Or is that still...
I'll probably play with Sabrina for the doubles and triples. We haven't really sorted anything just yet. It's difficult to. I mean, we don't know what's going on. I mean, we can't really start asking people yet until we know what's happening, because nobody knows where we stand. So I think as soon as we get the go ahead from PE that things will start going ahead, then obviously we can start planning then. But yeah, it's just standstill at the minute, isn't it? Nobody knows what to do, so not yet.
No, that's true. And what about yourself, Sabrina? What plans have you got for the next 12 months or so? What's your ambitions?
To be able to go to a piste and throw a ball, first and foremost. Yeah, so just getting out there and playing. Like, I just need the mentality, because with me at the moment as well, I'm not able to work because I work in a bar. So I'm completely isolated to like 4 walls and just walking outside when I can, not near anyone, obviously. So it's just a case I want to get back in the momentum of being able to go out and play, and build up my skills, obviously, in the high lob. And then hopefully, if the rankings are going ahead, make it into the squad. Yeah,
absolutely. Give it a good shot. I'm sure you will. And yourself, Becky?
Well, I sort of said earlier, I really want to play for my country. That's what I want to do. So I'll be doing what I can to get up there into the squad, if there is a squad, whatever size that squad is, to try and get that opportunity. But I just like winning, so I'll be winning as much as I possibly can.
Right. At least you're honest.
Well, it's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. No one likes losing. So we're coming towards the end now of this podcast, or I guess you can call it. It is International Women's Day coming up on Monday. You know, I'm not a woman, so I don't know if you've noticed that. But to you, Becky, what does it mean to be, you know, a woman in the sport? What does it feel like? What does International Women's Day mean to you?
I just think it's really important to empower women in all ways. And I think, you know, historically, as in many, many years ago, women have always been a step behind in sport because, you know, thinking back to, say, Victorian times, it wasn't appropriate for women to do sport. You know, it was all the men's game, and the roots of all sports are really with men, with the exception of maybe netball. You know, they've started everything off, and women have always been slightly a step behind playing catch up, no matter what sport we're talking about, whether it's football, cricket, tennis, any of it. So I think to empower women in any way through sport is brilliant. And if anyone sort of feels like they're thinking about entering a few more competitions, you know, on the back of this podcast or any of the work that Hassie's doing, please do it. Get involved, because you'll be welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, I think we all echo what Becky just said then. Has anyone got anything else to add to that? Personally, I think a lot of love towards Hassie. I think what she does for bringing the ladies together, all shapes, sizes, abilities, ages, is unbelievable. So
yeah, I was going to say the same. Hassie, yeah, she deserves a round of applause for what she's done. She's doing a great job.
Yeah,
and she's
absolutely.
a lovely lady.
And obviously there would have been a tournament across the country, I think, different regions. So Sarah, will you be doing anything on International Women's Day, giving birth? No, it's not yet, is it?
Not yet. I'll probably be at work.
Oh, great. Not in the kitchen. Oh, okay. It's a joke. God. Everyone be emailing me now. Points of view. Right, on that note then, we will leave it there, and it's been a pleasure to speak to all of you, and carry on what you're doing, girls, because I think all four of you are an inspiration, not just to ladies, but to men, to myself. I really enjoyed getting you guys on the show. Keep working hard, keep trying to improve your game, and if you ever need some help, I'm always there for any of you if you need any help, whether that's your mental well-being or in a practical way of your game. I'm always there to help. You might not want to speak to me, but the option is there. All right, girls, it's been great to speak to you. Great to talk to you, Becky, Sabrina, Sarah, and Hannah. And I'll see you guys on a piece soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.